Dude, this city, Los Angeles, it is probably the most unsafe place I have seen in the whole of the US. It's extremely unsafe. And I want to tell you about my experience because this is something that I personally experienced. I did not expect LA to be like this because, LA is something that I stayed in previously. I studied here. I went to USC. And, my experience was great, even though I was here for a short while, but the experience itself was great, even though I was here for a very short time. Now, the point is, every time I was at USC also, I used to think, hey, why do these people have so much patrol? They had sort of like a area where they were, monitoring 24/7. There was like USC police, special police. When I came here, I was not sure as to what's going on. Why do they have so much, protection for the students? Is this because of, I don't know. Like they just want to protect the area? Like, is there something wrong? I didn't know. But now that I stayed here, in Los Angeles, again, for the first time outside of the campus area. And first off, it's extremely costly, even though you may go for a decent, okay-ish, I would say, hotel. It starts from at least 150 bucks per day, And for me, basically, what happened is that I was staying here in two places. One place was an Airbnb, basically. That's where I stayed first. And when I was sleeping in the night, because Airbnb is a shared space, right? They can be multiple people, multiple rooms, multiple people. I was sleeping at night. What happened is around 3, 4 a.m., I think someone entered the house. I was not sure. I thought maybe it's one of the residents. They're just making a ruckus. But then 5 a.m., I wake up and there's someone at my door and they're trying to sort of open up the door itself. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but they keep on trying to open the door. I thought maybe it's someone who's, a neighbor. They're trying to get into their own room. But then later on, I realized that it's been going on for like too long, almost 10 minutes. They're keeping on trying to open up my door. So it was 4 a.m. I think, and I spoke out. I was like, "Hey, what are you doing? Who is this? I'm trying to sleep over here." And then almost with a demonic, satanic voice, someone speaks, and it was a woman. It seemed like a 50, 60-year-old woman or someone who was on crack for the last couple of days, or at least once, like some homeless person. They said, I just want some food, like, very weird voice. Now, I don't mind giving food, but, why are you trying to essentially come into my room at 4, 5 a.m. when someone's trying to sleep and you're asking for food? It just did not make sense to me. Like, what's going on over there? So I said, look, you know, please stop opening my door. I'm trying to sleep over here. There's no food inside. Food is downstairs in the refrigerator. You want to get it, you go get it, but don't try to open it. I was very sure that's a homeless person. So I said, I'm going to be calling 911 if you don't stop. And they continued to try to open my door. And I was very scared. I thought, hey, maybe, this person, it sounds like a woman, but maybe she's with two or three other people. They're trying to rob me or something, essentially. I don't know. Maybe all the other residents of the house are also scared and in their rooms. I don't know what's going on. So this person didn't stop. And I was worried that the door might open up. They were trying to insert a pin into the, keyhole, and they were trying to do something with that. I don't know, might be open up. I don't know. So what I did was I called 911, and an operator got to me, and I told them, look, this is happening. I'm in an Airbnb. I don't know what to do. I'm not sure if I should open up. I'm scared to go out. I don't know how many people there are outside. And as soon as I made the call, these people stopped, and I think they left. And the police, they were not there yet. I think they said that they have a lack of agents, but they're gonna call back and check. They called back in 30 minutes and said, "Do you still need an agent? Should we send someone, or is it okay?" I said, "No, I think they're gone by now." But that was one experience. And then I connected with the Airbnb host, and the Airbnb host said that, yeah, there was a woman at first, but I think later on they were just trying to save themselves. When we reported this to Airbnb, and they said that no, it was just one of the neighbors trying to get in. And there was no neighbor. I can assure you, I knew all the people living in there because I'd already been in that Airbnb for 2 days. I knew all the people, and there was no one that sounded like that. It was pretty much clear that it was a homeless person. And I realized that, it's a pretty much a not the best neighborhood also to stay in. So what I did was, next day I moved to a hotel. Now, whether it's a hotel or motel, especially, in US, what happens is that they have everything usually on the ground floor, or they don't really have very high rise. Like, look at this. The buildings are not very high rise. They're very, short buildings. They don't build it up to the top. Essentially, I guess they just have too much land. And with that said, moved on. And now what happened is that, again, next morning, I'm sleeping 4 or 5 a.m. There's a person, like, next to my rooms, there's of course the parking and all that. And this person is shouting in the morning, screaming, "No, no, no, no! You won't get to me. You won't do this." I don't know what's going on, and I'm in my like you wake up like that. You're disoriented. You're almost scared. What the fuck is going on? This person is speaking, like they are speaking in a way that it sounds like they are pretty hostile. If you go out, they might hit someone. A good thing is, I had a window and I was just too sleepy. I didn't want to go in and see what's going on. But a woman goes out from my neighboring room and she starts screaming. All that kind of stuff happens. I try to avoid going out for, of course, my personal safety. And then, you know, I don't know what was going on. So I thought maybe I should again call 911. But I was at this point almost tired of it. But just wanted to make sure the woman is fine. I looked through the window and she seemed to be, going away, but I still couldn't see the person who was, going all paranoid essentially. So I slept again. I tried to just go back to sleep. And later on morning, I wake up, I go to the reception, I asked them what was going on over here. They said a madman went in somehow, a homeless person. So there's a big problem here of the homeless people, essentially, I think. And all the houses also, if you see, like I don't know if I can show you right over here. Uh I don't see a house with the sign, but there's so many houses over here with signs like, do not trespass, do not enter, you know, and they have like all kinds of security mechanisms so that people don't enter their house, because I think these homeless people just enter your house, they can rob you, all kinds of issues can happen over here. I don't know, it's just not enough people, I think, or I don't know what to say, but it just feels very unsafe unless even I think even if you're living in a very high rise area like the area we're in right now, it's a very nice area, I think. But still, these kinds of issues continue to happen. So I don't know. I don't think this is something I've seen. I've been going all over the West Coast, and I've been in the US before as well. I did not experience these issues, but I think it's just gotten worse right now. And I don't know if this is the best thing to have. I'm not saying that the US is a bad place to stay, but I think if you're coming here for the first time, especially in an area like New York, Los Angeles, which are really popular areas, you probably want to keep secure, stay within your campus buildings, take care of yourself. Your parents are spending too much money sending you over there. Don't go into cheap housing in bad areas. Try to stay on campus. Take care of yourself. Life is precious, and it's just I feel like it was my job to alert you that this is happening. And there's many other small issues. Like sometimes you're just refueling your car. You just see a random person try to come up to you, talk to you, and you can see that this person. I have nothing against homeless people, by the way, but sometimes they feel a bit unstable. It feels unsafe. You don't know what they're gonna do in the next moment. And I just want you to be secure, be protected, take care of yourself. But yeah, um, that was what I experienced, and I thought you needed to know. So I'm sharing it with you. Let me know if you faced any such experiences, any such issues. I think you want to report them here. The reason is that in the comments, especially, I think so many students will be watching. So they might be able to understand what the gravity of the situation is, because I know sometimes I may not be able to give it out so clearly as well. I don't want to be offensive to any community, but this is just what's going on. And yeah, I hope that this sends out still a positive message. I mean, the US is a great country. I love to come here. I love to stay here, but take care of yourself. All right. Bye bye.